All right, cool, man. Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, man. I'm really, really excited. Let me think. Okay, we had him. You might be the most financially successful person I've had on this podcast. Congratulations.
All right. Hey, I'll take it.
Yo, built a huge business, man. We got Mr. AD Dolphin in the building. What's going on, man?
Man, I'm feeling good.
Man, clearly, we in the, normally the podcast, we have a white background, but we had to put a bunch of execution in the back. You know what I'm saying? We in the office right now, orders going out, and it's really a little overwhelming. If I was in the space of like health and wellness, I'd be somewhat intimidated walking in here. Like the printer is constantly going off, and I just hear like order. You got the staff in the front. Absolutely amazing, man. So please introduce yourself. I got a bunch of questions for you.
Okay, so I'm AD Dolphin. I'm the CEO of DHerbs.com. I'm also the health coach for the Steve Harvey TV show. I've been at this wellness business probably for the last 15 years. We started in 2004 in a one-bedroom apartment.
One-bedroom apartment.
One-bedroom apartment with a dream, that and a dream.
Right. Goodness gracious. Now you're in an office bigger than my whole house. The office. It's crazy. So I guess kind of explain to people what your business is, what you do. Let's get into that.
Well, like I said, so we're DHerbs. We're an herbal supplement company. We have about 400 different products. The product that we kind of focus on, that we tend to advertise majority of the time, is the DHerbs Full Body Cleanse. And that's kind of the product that we use on the Steve Harvey show because we do transformation, weight loss transformation. Even though this company, everyone thinks we're all about weight loss. No, really, ultimately, we're all about health. But 70% of the population is obese, so we decided to tackle that area and really help people. And the DHerbs Full Body Cleanse is the tool that we use to help people obtain those weight loss goals.
Gotcha. So how did it start? Like, give me the beginning. Like, were you like traveling to Australia and saw this plant? Like, yo, I feel like this gonna be the next detox. So how did it start?
No, you know what? The way it started is that I got home from Australia. I was playing basketball overseas, and I was a business major in college, and I always wanted to start my own business. And I started a vending machine company. I started a real estate company, and I started a business that teach kids how to play basketball. And then someone came to me. I met a herbalist that I really liked, and he told me about his business. He told me about his product. I was like, okay, it's interesting. Let me try the product. I tried the product, had an amazing experience. And then that's when I began to hire an herbal team and create, we had other herbalists start talking about formulas and trying to improve upon his formula.
Hold on. So he let you try a product. You was like, yo, this is amazing. It works. So
right.
In your entrepreneur brain, you says, yo, I need to make this.
I said, I felt like we can make it better. Mm-hmm. I felt like we can do things, we can expand upon it. I just wanted to see what it was. So we hired a couple of herbalists. We began to work on his formulas to make them a lot better.
Oh, so y'all connected?
We did connect. I bought 60% of his business actually the day after I finished the cleanse.
Oh, we're not going to speed past that, AD. What's that conversation like? We can't speed past that. Long story short, 60%.
The conversation basically went like, he was looking for partners. Me and my brothers was always looking for opportunities because we're entrepreneurs. We liked the business. We liked the fact that we wanted to plan to sell it on the internet. So we was like, okay, let's buy 60%. So we bought 60% of it. We hired an herbal team. We increased upon the formulas. We started developing the business. And that's when we began to launch. It took us about 4 years to really master it. So in between then, I was working my other businesses. My brother was working the real estate company, and the herbalist, he was focusing on the herbal formulas and dealing with the herbal team that way. So we just basically, it took us about 4 years to really figure everything out, and then, something clicked, and that was it. We never looked back after that.
Wow. So the figuring everything out, was it figuring out how to make the product perfect, or was it figuring out how to really launch a company?
No, actually, we figured out the product. To be honest, there's 1 billion people on this planet with a great product and a great idea. The hardest part about any business is learning how to market it and get your customers to purchase it without spending all the money that you got in the bank. Because marketing could be a endless black hole. You know what I mean? You could lose your shirt trying to figure out how to market. But my brother came up with a marketing plan that we still use currently that allows us to do well.
Are you able to share some of that? Because that must be something fundamental. 15 years ago, came up with a plan that you're still using right now.
I'll tell you, I have no problem sharing. That's my whole thing. I want everybody to win. You can even try to come into the herbal business and take me down. All you're gonna do is make me better. That's all. That's the way I figure about it. But the marketing,
I will say you spent probably what? We was together 2-3 hours just giving me game. The first time we met, you ain't know me from Adam.
I want everybody to win. Everybody go out there and get it. So basically the marketing plan that we have for our company, a lot of times people don't understand terrestrial radio is still a good, viable source to obtain customers.
Terrestrial radio.
Yeah, so that's just regular radio.
Right.
You turn on the radio station, you hear it, and you hear music and you hear talk radio and things like that. So basically my brother came up with an idea to go to more of a talk show radio that they play music. So it's more talk and they play music, not they play music and they talk. So basically in that kind of a scenario, you have a situation where people believe in the host. They love the host because they like hearing them talk about whatever they're talking about, whether or not it's Steve Harvey, whether or not it's Howard Stern. These have people that love them, that believe them, that trust them. So you go to a radio station that has that kind of loyal fan base. And then what happens is, and then you say, I tell them, they's like, well, do you want to run commercials? No, I don't want to do commercials. I only want to do live reads.
What's a live read?
So a live read is like me and you got a talk show and we're talking and then all of a sudden, man, you know about that in DHerbs? Hey, look, I tried DHerbs and it's right in the middle of in the sentence. So now you don't have time to turn to the station and go and get away from those commercials. You're already locked in. So that's a live read on a radio station. Gotcha. On the flip side of that, so not only did we do live reads, but every time we did an ad, we would run it for a month. And we would start off with an interview on the radio station, introducing the product, making people aware of the product. And then 2 weeks after that, we would introduce the product again and talk about success stories and things like that. So it starts off, we interview, live reads, for the next 14 to 13 days, another interview, live reads for the next 14 to 13 days, and that's how we did it. And to believe it or not, those 2 days that you do interviews should actually pay for your entire campaign. If you're doing it right, it should pay for your entire campaign. So therefore, the other 28, 29 days should all be on those live read days. You should be making money every single day, one of those days. And if you do that on every single platform you go to, you can win.
See, the thing is though, now in 2019, people will be inclined to say, well, that doesn't work. It's clearly working, but why not? And I think we were talking last time, you said you tried like the social media strategy, because I'm sure there's some people listening right now like, I should try Instagram. But like, what's the difference? Why is your formula so popping? Even still now, because there's less listeners, right?
Right. No,
than
but
15 years ago?
I think it may be less, but it depends on what platform you're on. So if you're talking about a Howard Stern, you're talking about 10 million listeners. So when you talk about Steve Harvey, you're talking about 10 million listeners. That's how big some of these platforms are that out there. I'm not going after the mom and pop ones. No, I'm going after the big ones. So that's where the difference is. And guess what? And guess what? So we're not trying to convince you. We've already had the host utilize our product. Steve Harvey told me day one. He told me, he was like, because I wanted to interview, and he was like, they got me on the phone before I even did anything. He was like, do it work? I said, yeah. He said, man, don't have me introducing this product to my fan base, and it's going to be some funky stuff that happened 3 months, a year down the line. I said, Steve, I wouldn't do that to you. He said, send me the product. He used the product. Once he used the product, he was all in. He was like, oh, nah, it worked. I lost 18 pounds my first cleanse. I'm all in. It's good. And so therefore, he had that enthusiasm and he had those results behind it. He knew like, nah, this is going to be good for my people. And so that's when I go in. I'm not going in just advertising. No, I want the host to be involved with it. I want the co-host to use the product. I want these people to use the product. I want their feedback because I want them to love what they're doing and what they're saying. I want it to be believable. And it has been because we've taken that method.
You know what? And now, when you say it, it didn't make as much sense before, but now it makes more sense because you're saying these people have 10 million listeners
That love them.
that love them
That love
versus
'em.
10 million followers who just follow you.
That just see something to go across the screen and say, buy this. And half the time, those people aren't utilizing their product. Those people kind of like them. Sometimes they even hate them and they still watching their feed.
Right.
So it's a difference. It's a different than when you've been listening to this gentleman or this lady on the radio for the last 10 years and you love them. You like what they have to say. You trust them. And I'm telling you, people like Steve, they like, I need to do it first before we can start having these interviews on the radio. Because they got millions, they got different companies coming after them to advertise on their thing. So they have ample opportunities. So they want to believe in the product. They're not just taking money. Steve ain't taking money. Steve already rich.
Right.
You know, for what Steve did for me was a blessing. You know what I mean? He didn't have to lift me up. And that's why I tell my story and I tell everybody exactly how I did it, what I did, because I'm hoping someone can get lifted up from their situation and figure out something else and then help somebody else down the line, similar to what Steve did for me, because he didn't have to do it. Wow. He didn't have to do it. He just that kind of a person. Yeah. Steve, that's my guy. Nobody can tell me nothing about Steve because I know who he is. Yeah. And he really, honestly, Steve is out for us. If you in there fighting in the trenches, he for you.
Wow. How'd you create that relationship? How'd y'all create that relationship?
You know, the one thing that I learned is that when you listen to their shows and stuff like that, the reason why these people do so well on the show, because they honest about whatever experience they going through or whatever it is. They honest. So if you trying to identify with them, you gotta be honest. So do you like black? No, I don't like black. I like red. Like, you just got to be honest about whatever it is about you, and then people fall in love with you or they hate you, either one. So me in the situation with Steve, I was always honest to him about every single thing. If I said I was going to do something, I did it. So he appreciated that. So therefore, you know, he gave the product a try. He loved his experience. Everything I said came true. So he was all in.
Dope. And you was reluctant to do like radio, right? Because you were telling me your brother was coming at you like, yo, do this.
So our first experience with radio at the time, I think at the time we was only making about $60,000 a month, which is nothing.
Only making $60,000 a month, Brandon.
Right.
You hear that? Only just 60. How did you live? How'd you get by?
We was only making about $60,000 a month, which is, trust me, we easily do $50,000 a day now. So it's just it's a difference now. But back then when we did the show, it was Kathy Hughes. Kathy Hughes, she basically controls all of black radio. It's all through the South, and it was a syndicated show that they wanted us to be on. I'm so mad I can't remember the guy's name right now. So we decided to, my brother came to me and was like, yeah, it's gonna cost $12,000. We only make $60,000 a month. $12,000 for the month. And he got his program, the one we just spoke about. He's like, let's run it. And I was like, man.
They come with 2 live reads.
Right, 2 live reads. We can curse on the show, right?
No.
Okay. So we can't curse on the show. So I ain't gonna tell y'all what I really said. My brother said, he said it's gonna cost $12,000. I was like, man, we ain't never doing that. Right. Basically, me paraphrasing it. Right. I was like, we ain't never doing that. So next thing you know, he came back to me a week later. He's like, they said they'll do it for $12,500. I was like, man, I don't care what they said. We not doing it. Because, you know, like I said, we only make $60,000, $12,000. You know, that's a sixth of what we make. So I couldn't wrap my head around it. So he kept going. And I think they got around $10,000. And I told my brother, I said, look, they get below 10, I'll do it. Cause my brother, he's smart. He just stay on me. He don't pressure me. He don't say nothing. He just keep mentioning it to me. He relentless that way. Right. My brother taught me how to finish. He can finish anything That's just my guy. So he just kept working on me. And he eventually got the job done. So he got him down to 9.5. And let me tell you, that investment that we made into that business doubled our business overnight. We immediately went from $60,000 a month to $120,000 a month overnight. And it was only a small station. They only had the attention of 1 million people. So I said, okay. Wow. So then after that, I said, what if we do somebody with 3 million people? And I actually remember that station. It was a station, Russ Parr. He was syndicated. Russ Parr Morning Show. He was syndicated. I think they were out of like Washington, D.C., Maryland, or one of those little areas over there. And we did his show. And I think that month we did like 200-something thousand. So then I started saying, okay, so if we go bigger, we make more money. So eventually we just kept working those kind of radio stations. And then we got to the bigger stations, the Steve Harveys of the world, the Tom Joyners of the world. We start entering that market, the Howard Sterns of the world. We start entering those kind of big markets. And let me tell you, because once you have a good products are great. Right. Learning how to advertise and maximize that is much better. So it really changed our business. Yeah. It changed our business night and day.
After our conversation, I immediately called Willie Moore Jr. I was like, Willie,
there you go.
I need to know this radio thing, man, because you have a huge following. People love you. I want in. And he kind of told me what the radio charges. That's not him saying, pay me this. He's like, yo, the radio station, to do that, it's gonna cost you X amount of dollars. And I was like, ooh. That's
the whole thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, and
I have to have the right product, though, right?
You got to definitely have the right product. You got to have everything in place so it makes sense. Yeah. If you got everything in place and it makes sense, it works. Right. But it works. But what I also told you should probably do is just become a voice on the show.
Yeah. I had some for a segment too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's do a weekly, a monthly, some kind of segment. Just become a voice on the show. But that also helps if you advertise it on the show too. So I'm advertising on the show. I'm making sure y'all win over here. Make sure I win over here. And I love Willie's show. Willie has a great show, and we've done business with him in the past. So he has a great show. He's a great personality, and like I said, people love him. Yeah. They believe him. You know what I mean?
So tell me how I guess it went from you being an advertiser on Steve Harvey Morning Show to like people thinking, yo, they together.
Right. So we advertise every single month, 12 months out of the year. So when you do that and you're on monthly and you're doing interviews, what happens is now you seem like you're a part of the show. And in fact, there's a moment that I'll share with you guys is that they asked us to sponsor the neighborhood awards because, State Farm was doing it, Bank of America was doing it. It was like, I actually became one of their biggest sponsors. Wow. So I'm up there with State Farm and Bank of America. I'm right there. I'm like number 3 as far as revenue that they get from me per year. So I'm right there with all of them. So they were like, you should probably just sponsor the neighborhood awards. I was like, oh, that's fine. I don't have a problem doing that. You guys have helped me throughout the year. What do y'all guys need? So usually when you do the neighborhood awards, it's not only they give out awards, but they have a hall, like a big old place where they got, everybody has a stand or something with the business. Stater Brothers have one. Bank of America have one where they're trying to lure customers in. Bank of America have one. All of State Farm have one. Everyone have one. So they asked me to have one. But since State Farm is a big corporation, they don't have really like one person to identify with. Right. My position was a little bit different since I was one of the voices for DHerbs. So now they said, okay, well, you can't be where Bank of America and State Farm and Stater Brothers, where all these other people are. You can't be over there. Your situation is different. We're going to put you on Celebrity Row. So Celebrity Row is where the individual hosts on the show, the Shirley Strawberries, the Tommy, Junior, some of the other people that are voices on the Steve Harvey show, they sell products. So they said, you're gonna have to be over there with them. They said, because you're on so much, people think that you're a part of the show. That's when they messed up. That's when I learned something. See, my whole thing about life is that you got to pay attention to what's going on. So now they just basically told me the more and more I'm on the show, I actually become a part of the show. I'm actually a character on the show. So that means, okay, now I start getting fans. Okay, now I start getting popular. I said, all right, cool. I get that. I understand that. So they put me over there on Celebrity Row, and they were absolutely right. People, when I got there, people wanted to take pictures with me. People were bringing their weight loss journeys. I remember this one lady, she had lost 200 something pounds on the cleanse, and she had did it for like 6 months. She did like 6 cleanses in a row.
Hold on, bro.
Changed
Hold on. How much weight and how long?
Listen, I can't recall, but the woman went from a very like 300 something pounds to about 120 pounds. Changed her whole entire life. And she brought her picture. She was like, I know you're not gonna believe me, and showed me her picture. And it just made me realize, like, wow, not only are we a company, we're being successful, but honestly, we're changing lives. That's what ultimately it turned into something else. It went from a business venture into an opportunity to actually affect someone's life in a positive way. So that part was just amazing. So, and they were, like I said, they were right. And I was like, oh, okay. So then later on, maybe like a year and a half later, the TV show, they needed someone to come sponsor something.
And before they had the TV show, it was just
they already had the TV show, but I wasn't taking advantage of it that way because I didn't know there was opportunities there.
Gotcha.
So I became a radio guy. I was on every radio station, popular one throughout the country. So I was like, radio's our thing. That's what we do. So then they came to me and they was like, well, somebody, I think it was like Green Dot or one of these companies couldn't do something. They was like, would you do it? They said, we see you advertise heavily on the radio station. Would you mind doing something on the TV? And I said, tell me the opportunity. Right. They was like, okay, do you have a story about someone using the cleanse? We got billions of stories. Right. So we gave them a story.
Real quick, advertising on the radio versus TV.
Totally different.
More expensive or less?
Way more expensive on TV.
Really?
But way more opportunities to make more money is definitely on TV.
So TV still works?
TV still works. Huge. Wow. Huge. See, my whole thing is, I don't think commercials work. I don't do commercials. I get involved with the show.
Because people fall in love with the character.
The character on the show. People watch the show. They turn when commercials come on. Commercials are almost a different segment than the show. So we're on the Steve Harvey TV show. We're on the Steve Harvey radio show. We're not part of the commercials. When the commercials come on, I'm like everybody else. I turn just like everybody else. Right. So I already know instinctively that's what people are going to do. So I don't want to do that. So they decided to give me a segment on the TV show. So we went on. We talked about, it was actually, people could watch our very first segment. It was about a preacher. His wife had needed a kidney. So I remember like it was yesterday. His wife needed a kidney. And she was like, basically, she really needed one. And the preacher wanted to give her one, but he was 300 something pounds. So when you're overweight, they won't allow you to take out a body part for a family member because you're already in a situation that you can hurt yourself. You're gonna need that kidney. So he had to lose weight to possibly give his wife a kidney. And he wanted to lose weight, so he gave us a call. We helped him lose 150 pounds, and he got a chance to at least have an opportunity to be his wife's hero, because that's what he was trying to do. So it was a very touching and real story that actually happened. So we presented that on the Steve Harvey show, and I told the lady, I said, look, if it works, I'll buy all the opportunities. I said, how many do you have left? She said, we got about 10 more. Are you serious? You'll buy them all? I said, if it works, I'll buy them all. Why did I say that? Because I've already realized on radio, if I come on enough, I become a part of the show. Wow. If people think I'm a part of the show, if now I'm a part of the show, so now people, and they already love Steve, we already know our product works. It's one of the best products on the market when it comes to weight loss and doing it naturally. And so we was like, this is a great fit. So I said, if it works, Let me see my results. If it works, I said, when is it going to come out? They said, come out in a week. I said, if it works, I'll buy them all. It worked. So I bought them all.
How did it work? What do you mean by it worked?
Okay, so basically when we did the Steve Harvey show at that particular time, this is 4 years ago, so prices are different. They wanted me to pay $50,000 for a segment. A segment is about between 4.5 minutes.
$50,000, 4.5 minutes. I can't wait to see what this 4.5 minutes produced.
The day of the show came out, just that day, we made, I think 159,000. But that's not the key. It's the days afterwards. So the days afterwards are the real, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Keeps going and going and going. That's the beautiful thing. Like I said, once you learn how to market and you have a great product, it changes everything. Changes everything drastically. You just got to know how to do it. Like just running commercials aimlessly, that's not my thing. We want to be more involved with the show. We want the host to actually have used our products. We want people to have those kind of experiences, so therefore they believe in it. They can talk about it in a positive way because we already know we have a great product. Right. They just don't know yet. So we want them to know. We want them to feel it. So as long as people that we're working with want to have those kind of experiences, then we will definitely invest more and more in the show. So that time it was Steve, who already loved us from radio, and we have been with him for years. I didn't even tell Steve that I was going to be on the radio. I mean, on his TV show that day.
Really?
Didn't even, I just showed up. He couldn't even believe it. He was like, how'd you get? Right. I was like, he's like, you didn't ask me? I was like, Steve, I know how to move. I know how to maneuver.
Wow.
I didn't want, see, people think, just because your friend is on the show don't mean he can get you on the show. Now, Steve actually could get me on the show, but how is one opportunity going to help me? That's not going to change my business. Right. So I got to figure it out. He can't just keep helping me every single month. That's a bad relationship between friends. I got to figure out how I can be there consistently every single month, and you got to pay for those opportunities. And that's what we did. Wow. And that's what we invested in the show. We became one of the sponsors of the show. We did all kinds of things. We gave money to guests. We did several different things, just to help support the show. And when you do things like that, then, it works out for you.
Gotcha. And now we got to talk about what's in this detox. What is going on? People are losing all this weight. Like, that's a whole human. 300 down to 100 something? What's going on in that thing?
Doing things naturally works. So a lot of times people want these quick fix. They want to use the product and it works. And hours later the weight comes off of you. So we don't propose that we have some magic pill in a bottle. We don't. But we're saying, look, if you follow this for 20 days, you have the best results that you've ever had when it comes to weight loss. And what we ask people to do is not only just take those capsules. So you're taking 5 capsules per bottle every single day is 6 bottles. And people already struggle with that. So that we're talking about 30 capsules a day. People are already struggling. So I always tell them, look, have you ever ate a bag of M&Ms?
What is that, 5 capsules
per bottle?
Per bottle. 5 capsules per bottle, and there's 6 bottles.
So it's 30 a day. Yep. So first thing they were like, that's 30 capsules. I was like, look, have you ever ate a bag of M&Ms? That's what I asked them. They say, yeah, I have. I said, how long did it take you? A few minutes. I said, the difference between this and M&Ms is this is going to keep you on the planet a whole lot longer than them M&Ms will. Wow. So therefore, if you're willing to commit to them M&Ms for a few minutes, why won't you commit to your life, you know what I mean, right now? And so that's what I try to change people's perspective.
How big are the capsules?
They're small, way smaller than M&Ms.
Right.
So they're real small. You take 5 capsules per bottle. You're talking about your blood, your cardio, your liver, your kidneys. You have your colon. We have activated charcoal that's in there. And we also have your lung and respiratory system formula in there. So basically, we're going after all your eliminative channels.
Wow. So, okay, so how long is the detox?
The detox is for 20 days.
20 days.
So for 20 days, and also,
You can do anything for 20 days, y'all.
yeah,
Right?
you can do anything for 20 days. So for 20 days, you're going to take those capsules, but you're going to have to eat a certain way. I always tell people you can't eat the same foods that gave you the notion to cleanse during your cleanse. You got to make a dietary change. The change that we ask people to make is we want you to be on a raw food diet. Therefore, you're going to eat fresh fruits, vegetables, raw nuts, and raw seeds for the next 20 days.
20 days.
And let me tell you, the first thing that people say, they say, I can't eat no food.
I just told
I was
you.
like, I just said, fresh fruits, vegetables, raw nuts, and raw seeds. It's like, I can't eat no food, no meat. They think meat is the only form of food. I was like, look, fresh fruit and vegetables are food.
Right.
They are food. That's the basic food. I was like, people don't understand by the design of our teeth, they can already tell that we're supposed to be natural vegetarians. And when you do the cleanse, you'll feel it because it will change the way that you feel drastically. Your energy levels, you're talking about feeling like you're 12 years old all over again. You'll be running around, you'll have more energy than you've ever had. You know, a lot of times people don't understand when you put certain foods in your body spends so much time trying to digest those foods, your body can't go help you over here with your cardiovascular system, help you process the other foods in your system, block this cold that your coworker then sneezed on you later. Like, it opens you up to different situations because your body is spending so much time trying to digest these bad foods that we have within our system. Your body is supposed to naturally heal itself, and it has natural healing powers, but it spends so much time doing so many other things, you don't really get a chance to heal yourself. Wow. So the cleanse kind of brings you back to nature. So you take those capsules, you eat fresh fruits, vegetables, raw nuts, and raw seeds for 20 days, and you'll see why I tell everyone that why I for sure believe that we are natural vegetarians, because you will feel amazing. You will feel amazing.
Bro, with the stories and the testimonials, I right now can see why your business is just so huge. Because yes, you do things very systematically, strategically, but I guess none of that matters if the product isn't changing people's lives drastically.
Right.
That's amazing.
Right. So, I mean, having a good product is great. Knowing how to market it is better. But like I said, if you have a good product, they're going to keep coming back. Yeah. And let me tell you, the experience that people have with doing the cleanse, and I always try to share this, 10 people do the cleanse. 3 of those people absolutely are going to hate it. They're going to hate it because they have no self-control. Wow. They have no self-control. They have no discipline. They can't do it. So that's 30% of them just absolutely going to hate it. Then you have another 30%, another 3 people. They're going to see the potential, but they cheated on the cleanse. You know what I mean? They should have lost 25 pounds. They only lost 12. They cheated every other day. They didn't really get the results, but they know it works because they got some results. Right. Then you got the other 40%. The other 40%, the other 4 people that did the cleanse are going to love it. It's going to change their lives. They're going to tell every single person that they knew because they had the commitment. They could commit to the entire process. They did the cleanse wholeheartedly, and they had an amazing experience, and they told everyone that they knew. And usually that's the experience. So 70% of the people are going to believe in the cleanse when they do it. The other 30%, they're not going to be able to do it. But I always tell people, when people ask me, how do you feel? How do you help that 30%? And I try to explain this in a very nice way. And I hope McDonald's doesn't get mad at me. Somebody got to work at McDonald's.
We got to.
Somebody got to be there. And what I mean by that is everybody's not going to be successful. You know what I mean? They just don't have the discipline. They don't have the fortitude. They don't have the effort. They just, for whatever reason, they feel the way they feel, and they don't feel like they deserve that. Yeah. So, you know, we can get to about 70% of them.
Right. Yo, so preparing for these 20 days. Like,
right.
So my boy, shouts out to Big Ray. He was like, yo, I ordered the cleanse. And he said it came. And he said I was reading it. He was like, yo, I really got to be in a position where I can like really do this mentally. I got to get in a mental place. And I felt him a little bit. Like, I'm like, yo, you have to be ready to dive in. So he's not the people that like cheat on it or start and stop, right? Mm-hmm. So like, what do you say to the people that like got to mentally prepare to take
start? It's always going to be something.
Right.
Listen, it's always going to be something. Whether or not, okay, my wife, she lost her job. It's my birthday coming up. It's my cousin's birthday coming up. We're going on a cruise next week. Like, it's always going to be something. Look, it's easy to get healthy if you're not sick. Stop waiting till the last minute to do something where you already got diabetes, you already got high blood pressure, you already have all these, these chronic diseases that are starting to take over your body. Don't wait till then to get serious.
Right.
No, get serious now.
Yeah.
That's why I tell everybody, it's easy to get healthy when you're not sick.
What type of advice would you give to an entrepreneur who looks at, okay, I'm gonna start this business, but they do all the research and they gotta mentally prepare to start? Is it the same advice?
I tell people just start, because what the on-the-job training, this is what I say to start any business. Any business you're trying to be successful, don't make the same mistake twice. You'll make it. You'll make it. Learn. Learn. Telling you, you did this advertisement, it didn't work. Don't go back and try to do it again.
Right.
At least don't go back and try to do it the same way you did it last time, talking about it wasn't the right time of the year.
Right.
No, it just don't work. You know what I mean? Just don't make the same mistake twice. Jump in. Anything I do, I jump in with both feet. And it doesn't matter if you can't swim. You'll figure it out.
For sure. And you got a bunch of successful businesses, right? But and people are like, yo, this guy's a marketing genius, just a mogul, he just understands business. But I'm sure you take L's.
All the time.
All the time.
Every time. You know why we know how to make videos at DHerbs? It's because I used to have a record label and I was making videos for my artists. So that failure helped me over here. You know what I mean? You know how we know how to edit the audio and fix because I did that in my music company that didn't work out for me. You know what I mean? And the reason why sometimes these other opportunities that we try don't work out is because we're leaning on the persistence of another person. Are they dedicated? Are they persistent? Are they working on their craft? You may be doing everything that you got to do, but you waiting on Tom the rapper to do his part, and he over there, he getting high every day and he's showing up every other week. And then I realized I need to be able to do something and count on me. Because I'm never going to let me down. I'm going to show up every single time. I'm going to be there every single day. I've never been late to the Steve Harvey show. I've never been late to one single interview I've ever had to do because it's too much riding on me. I have damn near 30 employees. If I don't show up, I'm affecting their job. I'm affecting opportunities that they may have. So that's the way I look at it. I'm letting down my partners. I'm not going to let me down. Wow. At all. I'm going to show up. I've never been late to anything like that. Now, my personal life, I've been late a billion times. My girlfriend like, where are you? I'm working.
Right.
But as far as business opportunities, I've never been late. I don't play that.
How do you develop that? Like, if somebody's watching it right now, like, yo, you know what? I'm going to be on top of everything now. They lying. What type of advice would you give to somebody who, like, they can't seem to figure out what's wrong?
Then when people have those kind of issues, I would always say that they're not in it. They're not in it. That's not what they really, really want to do. Because no one can stop me from being here. I love being here. I love what I do. I like the opportunities on the radio. I like helping people. I like reading those reviews and people are like, wow, you changed my life. I like all of that. But you know what I mean? So you gotta be totally invested into that. If you are, then you're gonna show up. Yeah. You're gonna show up. You're gonna be there, even for the stuff that you don't like to do. I don't like doing photo shoots. I feel ridiculous, but I know I gotta go and do it. Right. You know what I mean? I know I gotta go and do it. And some of the interviews I do, not like this one, because this one's it's getting to the meat of the situation. But sometimes I gotta go speak to different kinds of people, and it's not always fun, but it's part of the process. Yeah. I always tell people, look, it's supposed to be hard. Yeah. It's supposed to be messed up. It ain't supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be able to do it. But I know one thing, if you work at it every single day, it gets easier. Yeah. And that's the key. Keep working.
Yeah.
Keep putting in the work. Find something that you truly, truly love. Whether or not you were getting paid or not, you would love to do it.
Yeah. Yo, I gotta ask you, man, what is the question that I'm not asking? Like, what is the question that people really don't, like, they don't ask to find out this secret sauce?
The secret sauce probably is like, what was the crossroads in your business?
Yes.
That was it. So for us, the crossroads was when we decided to do Steve Harvey. So when we decided to do the Steve Harvey show, it was a huge, huge investment. The radio show is a huge, big one. The number was so big, I couldn't even imagine it working out. So I had to, you got to get over your stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? We all got stuff that stops us from being successful. It's all in us. Whether or not your parents told you, your uncle didn't make it, your brother was supposed to go to the league and he didn't pull it off. Like whatever, we all got all this stuff and all these failures all around us, and it stops us from going for it or jumping, as Steve would say. Us, going outside of yourself and just really going for stuff. And I think that that is such a scary moment for an entrepreneur that's trying to succeed in life and trying to succeed in his business. And I think that moment right there is one of the key moments that every single successful entrepreneur has, and the ones who fail because they didn't jump. Right. They didn't do it. They all get to this one moment, and they don't know it's as big as it is. They have absolutely no idea. They don't know that even that one moment might lead to something else, or it might just be the moment that takes them over the top. For us, it was Steve Harvey, and that's what it was. It was the number was so big, I just couldn't imagine it. I just couldn't imagine it working out.
You could have easily said no.
We could have said no. And the thing that was crazy, we had just did a station not as big as his that was a complete failure.
Oh, so when you got to that crossroad, you have every reason to say.
So this one, I'm gonna give y'all real numbers. We're gonna go. So at the time, and I love Ricky Smiley, so this ain't about his show. We did Ricky Smiley. It was a complete failure. Didn't go well.
What'd you put up? Do you remember what you put up back?
But it was our fault. It wasn't Ricky Smiley's fault. They did everything possible for us to succeed. We didn't do enough investigation about the show. When I listened to the Ricky Smiley show, it was very, very young. They had the audience. They had 6 million people at the time. But it was a very young rap-ish show. Mm-hmm. And at the time, that's one of those lessons I learned. Numbers don't mean we're supposed to be there. We're not supposed to be there. And they love Ricky Smiley, and they had all certain elements, but it was definitely a younger show. It was more driven by the music opposed by the host. So right after we did that, we had a complete failure.
And how much do you remember what your budget was for Ricky?
Yeah, I already know what it was. It was $92,000. I did it.
All right, so you put up the $92,000.
$92,000. We made $169,000. It was a complete failure. It's not. Trust me. People don't.
I'm trying to wrap my brain around. Put up 96, got 100 and.
But you got to remember, you got employees. You got employees. You got product costs. So you got product costs. People don't understand that. You know what I mean? It's all kind of stuff that happens. So basically, we didn't do well. Those kind of numbers aren't. You're not going to be successful at those numbers. You think you made money, but you didn't make no money. So then what happens?
You know what the thing is? There's a huge difference between you and I, and I'm starting to see it right now. You just see something bigger. Like, I can't imagine. So you put up 92,000.
Right.
And then you sell 100 and what?
We did 169,000.
169,000. Was it zero profit?
I would say we're really close to it.
So you might have made a little something.
Maybe a little something.
And like you look at, and you say complete failure. I say, if I got my money back, I failed. But you look at, like, you're seeing it from a different perspective. Like, if I didn't like really crush it, it's a complete failure.
But you know what it is? You got to think about, and for us in an herbal company, if you're not making $20 million, you're not doing nothing, period. You out here playing. You out here just absolutely playing. You just swimming in the shallow end of the pool. And that's what it is. You can't, you gotta look, this world is huge, man. We're on the internet. We're 24 hours open, 7 days a week, holidays, none of that matters. We have exposure to everything. We should do better, and we should. So that opportunity we had just failed, right behind it, my brother made a brave move. My brother really smart. He's like, I don't think that deal was priced right. He's like, I didn't do good on that deal. We're gonna hire an outside company to do the Steve Harvey deal. So he did. We got a better deal on the Steve Harvey deal. Still a big number, much bigger than Ricky Smiley.
92.
Much bigger than 92. We did Steve Harvey. First day of the interview that we did it. Now, mind you, now this is, remember we talked about the moment? This is the moment.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'll give you real numbers. So at the time, the Steve Harvey show, they wanted me to invest $100,000 into the show. Guess how much? I just failed over here.
Right.
I only got $50,000 in the bank. Period. That's all I got. I don't have nothing else to my name. I only got $50,000. That's it. So they looked at. I was like, well, they was like, yeah. Do you want the opportunity? I said, absolutely, we want it. No question, we want it.
Where do you get that from? Where do you develop that? Like just bouncing off a L, like, yo, let's go.
Listen, we felt like Steve Harvey, that was the pinnacle show for us. That was the top of the line show for us. We felt like that show was everything. We felt like that was built for us. If I ain't gonna go for it now, what I'm gonna go for? Yeah. So I told them, I was like, yeah. I said, can we do something different on this one? I said, can we pay you 2 weeks after it starts? They said, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just gotta ask. Cause I ain't got it. At the moment, I ain't got it. I was like, can we pay in like 2 parts? They was like, yeah, you can pay in 2 parts. So we paid $50,000 up front, and then we got 2 weeks to sit on the rest, and we got a chance to see what it's gonna do.
Right.
So the beautiful thing about that, we was right. The first day, like I said, we do an interview. So we did the interview. It made $56,000 that day. That's huge for us. We've never had a day like that. Right. But that wasn't the topper. Every day after that, we made $25,000. Changed our business, changed our perspective, changed everything. When it came 2 weeks, at 14 days into the thing, they was like, okay, our other 50,000, like, here you go. That was 4 days of work. The other 10 days, we had already just sat there and we were still eating. So then after that, we did another interview, made another $40,000, $50,000. Every day after that, we made another $25,000. Best thing I ever did. Changed my perspective, showed me how big the world is and how small we can't think. We got to start thinking like this opposed to like this. Because like I said, sometimes the failures in life, sometimes, you know, like I said, your brother didn't make the league, your mother lost her, all these failures, it makes it so we don't reach for stuff. We don't reach for stuff.
Has it been maybe the people that you get around? Like, how do you expand that thought process? Because I think what's happening right now, you're expanding the way I see it, like just in this association. And I never get this conversation amongst my peers, right? Because we like same level. But like, how do you get to that? How do you start to think big and actually believe it?
You know what's so funny? My mother, I love my mother. But my mother really, she thinks small. She's amazed by the stuff that me and my sister and my brother have been able to accomplish. So I always ask my mom, I was like, this is how much it costs. Should I do it? She'd be like, no, you shouldn't do it. I tell her I always do the opposite. I do the opposite of whatever my mother say. She say go left, I go hard right. Because she's just, that's the way she think. Right. And it ain't her fault. It's just, that's the way she thinks. She think differently now because she got a chance to see all the stuff we've been able to accomplish. But that's how I used to, she'll tell you. She'll be like, nah, he do the opposite of whatever I say.
Wow.
So I just know because she thinks smaller and I know I need to think bigger and I need someone to help push me. So my mother pushes me indirectly.
Right.
She pushes me in a different direction. It's just that, you'll be surprised when you start hearing some of these numbers some of these companies are really, really making, and they're not even helping people. And they got crap products, and they're out there kicking butt. But they got a great sales force. They got an incredible marketing plan. And that's why I realized it's more about that. But now if you have that and you have a great product, you'll change the world.
Wow. Do you have certain mentors that, kind of push
Steve
you?
Harvey definitely is one of my mentors. Definitely someone that I can give a call and ask questions about. It's another gentleman by the name of Mark Antonazio who owns the Milwaukee Brewers. There's another guy that owns Brentwood and Associates by Bill Barnum. He's helped me a lot. Just helped me think bigger. Help me think bigger.
What's your goal for, I guess, the people that maybe you mentor or you work with or coach?
Just to help expand people's thinking and just to realize that this world is limitless. You know what I mean? Like I said, we think so small because, for us, growing up in the hood and growing up in those environments, the only people that made it out was basketball players and an occasional actor or a comedian. That's it. So you know what I mean? So when seeing Black businesses really thrive and flourish and get bigger and bigger, we're actually helping our people.
Wow.
Just see things in a whole different light. It's just,
I got two more. One, we were talking last time I was out here, and I guess Chris was he was telling you what, some of the things I was doing, and you said something interesting. You was like, "Yeah, let me know what it is. I'm always up to invest in a business."
Right.
Why do you take that approach?
Because, man, I missed out on Uber.
Did you really? Did you have an opportunity?
No, not at all. That's the problem. So I'm letting everybody know. Everybody out there, if there's something out there that's going on, bring it to me. I'll look.
Right.
I'm the easiest meeting in town.
Right.
I'm always looking. I don't necessarily have the time for everything, but I'm definitely looking to hear. I'm like, okay. Sometimes people convince me. They come in here, I think we bought into maybe like 2 businesses this year.
What kind of level? Was it like they need 10,000 or was it like
mo-
higher than that, lower
Most
than
of them
that?
like 100,000. Somewhere around there, they need 100,000.
Did it work, any of them?
No, they all failed. They all failed.
Really?
They all failed. Every last one of them failed. But then I realized something about me, that it can't just be about, I have to make sure that I'm directly involved and I really want to spend time with those people to help them do it. Because everybody ain't got the juice. Like I said, somebody got to work at McDonald's, man. Just because you have, it's 1,000 of great ideas out there. Without the execution, the dedication, and all that kind of stuff. Kind of like when we did Steve Harvey, man, we was down 5,000 orders. You know what me and my partners did? Me, my brother, Katarina's one of my partners. We were sleeping at the office every single day. We slept at the office for 2 weeks every single day.
You were down 5,000 orders.
We couldn't fulfill 5,000 orders. We had 5,000. Like you show up one day, it might be 6,000. We worked that 6,000 down to 5,000. We never could get past that 5,000. Took us a second to get down those orders. But so we had to literally sleep in the office for 2 weeks until we actually got every single one of those orders out.
Wow.
Because it's an amazing, you can't disappoint your customer. This is your one shot at it. You got to make sure they get in a timely fashion. So that was one of the hardest things that we had to do. But they were all up for the challenge. Yeah. We slept in the office until we got it done.
What convinced you to invest in these businesses, the people that walk in? Is it the product or like the idea? Or is it the person that you fall in love with? Or is it a blend of both? Or what?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. But I realized, like I said before, even if they have all of those qualities now, unless I plan on to be in it, it's hard for me now. Because I want to literally, because like I said, sometimes, you know what, I'll be like, damn, shit, I made it, man. I got to try to pull some other people up. Right. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. And that's what I genuinely try to do all the time, whether or not it's through information or actually giving people money and investing in their business, whatever it is. But I just try and I just realize unless I'm going to really, really do it, it's hard for me now. And it's sad that I feel that way now, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, listen, if y'all see like a whole production with social proof, AD has something to do with it. All right. All right. So last question. I know you got a busy day, and I really appreciate you sharing, man. For outside of the podcast, like literally, I'm sitting here reflecting, like, yo, I got so much work to do. I see the world so small. I see business so small, bigger than maybe some of my clients, or
right.
bigger than some of my colleagues. But like, you just got me to realize I see things so small.
Yeah, I mean, not that you know whether or not that's going on, but it's weird. Sometimes doing it the small way, it takes the same amount of effort to do it the big way. It just renders a bigger result. And that's a lot of times be like, nah, I'm just gonna do this over here. They'd be like, well, it's still gonna require the same amount of work
right.
if you do this over here, and it can just render so much more.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was talking about, like, we did over 500 people at Social Proof. I said next year I want to do 1,000, and he started talking about you was going to do your first conference. He was like, yo, I'm trying to have about 5,000-10,000. I'm like, your first one? I wouldn't have the audacity to be like, yo, 5,000. But now,
but you got 500. You can get 5,000.
Yeah.
You can easily touch that 5,000.
Yeah.
Now you just gotta maximize all of that. So it makes it when 5,000 people show up, it's worth it. Yeah. It's worth it. So you gotta have all those little programs in place, to incentivize people to invest more into you. Mm-hmm. It's there. You got it's hard to get 5 people to show up. You got 500 to show up. You can easily do 5,000. 5,000 is in your sleep.
Done deal. It's in my sleep, y'all. Y'all hear that? Listen, man, one more question. I always end my interviews off with the same question. I like to make predictions.
Okay.
And I want you to tell us where you see yourself, or what do you see happening in the next 5 or 10 years, so that when I look back at this 5 years later, I can say, yo, I remember AD said it 5 years ago, and look, or 10 years ago, look what he did. I got the footage. So
okay.
give me your 5-10 year prediction.
On what?
Whatever. I don't care what it is.
5-10 year prediction. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I got one for you. So you know how they do fruit. We're gonna talk about food for a second. So you know how they made things more advantageous to people who want to buy it because it doesn't have seeds in it, right? Seeds is coming back.
Seeds are coming back. What do you mean? Talk to me.
So they've genetically modified the watermelon. Once they genetically modify the seed within the watermelon, so now that watermelon doesn't produce seeds, right?
Yep.
They can own that now. They can own that now. So that's a genetically modified fruit now. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Based on what you were telling me earlier.
Right.
Where you can't patent a watermelon, right?
No, you can't patent a regular watermelon that has seeds and naturally grows. They can't own that. They can produce that, but they can't own it. So now when you own the seeds, no one can sell that seedless watermelon but you, unless they bought the seeds from you. Now they can go and produce it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, you can find watermelon seeds from any watermelon. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
They can't own that. So eventually people are, if you notice the world is changing, people don't want what anymore? Genetically modified foods. They want more natural things. They want things that actually occur in nature now. So things that didn't have seeds it's gonna come back.
Want to be real seeds, you think?
It's going to be, well, we would hope so. If it's not real seeds, they would own it. So genetically modified foods, as far as fruits and vegetables and things like that, will be no longer. It'll all reverse back.
Are you jumping into that space?
We do have a company starting called DHerbs Kitchen. So DHerbs Kitchen, one of the issues is that when people do the cleanse, they don't know what they can eat.
Right.
So now we have a menu, maybe in about another month it'll be out. It'll be a complete menu for you. It's going to be a program called 232.
Okay.
232. So 232 is basically the first 2 days you're going to juice. The 3 days you're going to eat raw foods. And then the last 2 you're going to do a little bit of both.
Right.
And that's what it's just kind of curve your diet, change the way you eat. And it's kind of like, you know, people say, I'm going to go vegan for 20 days.
Right.
But basically you're going to go raw vegan for 7 days.
Gotcha.
And it's going to help you control your weight for the month. It's going to help you feel healthier for the month and hopefully change your lifestyle for the future.
Gotcha. All right, so I need 2 more predictions. One for DHerbs, the company, and
Okay.
then AD. I gotta save the the person for the last one.
Okay, so for DHerbs for the company, DHerbs will probably be doing in 5 years, 10 years?
5 years.
10 years. DHerbs probably be doing at least probably $500 million a year. Easy. Easy. We'll probably be worth over $1 billion. Easy. Easy. You know what it is? We're just now starting to get out there. And like I said, when you do the right things happen. And that's what I honestly feel like, because most of these companies that we're dealing with, there's no fillers, there's no binders in our stuff. We're not, you know, the capsules aren't gelatin capsules. They're vegan capsules. So everything that we do is completely natural, 100%. That, like I said, down to the capsule, all the way to the core of the product. Most companies won't do that. They don't like using vegetarian capsules because they say the product can get damaged and there's a lot of waste. Well, I'd rather people be actually to utilize it within their body. Gelatin capsules usually come from either a pig. You know what I mean? So therefore it's an unnatural product off top already.
All right.
You know what I mean? So that's, people don't know where gelatin comes from. That's where it usually comes from.
Gotcha.
So that's one thing. And I just think more and more, like I said, DHerbs, the name itself would become more synonymous with health and doing the right things and people that care. Because I don't bend because of money. People always say, oh, you can make more money if you do this. I'll be like, I don't want to make money that way. And I honestly follow that all the way. So that's why I really feel like in the next 5 to 10 years, that's where DHerbs will be doing. Probably be worth over $1 billion, doing at least $500 million a year, and just kicking butt. And like I said, our space is big now, but it'd be 10 times bigger pretty soon. And as far as me,
I gotta hear this. I can't wait to see what you see for yourself.
You know what it is? I see kind of like what you're doing, inspiring people. You know what I mean? Helping people dream, making people see the future, helping them actually realize, you know, those dreams can become their reality. That's what I really, really see for myself, because I really honestly, sometimes I'll be like, man, I'm the luckiest guy on the planet. But really, I just did the work, man. Every single day, I just got up and did a little bit. And that's what I did. Just kept going. Just kept fighting the good fight. And not really succumbing to the failures in life and the defeats and all this stuff and just people feeling beat down. People need that enthusiasm because we can do so much more. We can do so much more. And it's always nice when you pick up, help somebody else make it, help pull somebody else up. It's lonely at the top, but it don't have to be. You know what I mean? It's lonely there, but help some other people get up. Help some other people achieve some of these goals and dreams and motivate them and tell people what you did. I tell everybody exactly what I did. I'll be like, they were like, people gonna copy you. I don't care if they copy me. I want everybody to make it. It's enough out here for all of us. I think it's like 8 billion people on the planet. It's enough for everybody. It's enough for everybody. It could be another version of DHerbs in Australia. It could be another version of DHerbs in Africa, because there's a lot of different opportunities out there. People have to just do it the right way.
Wow, man, I appreciate you, man. I'm super inspired. I'm ready to just go because I got work to do. I just got so much work to do. So if you want to just leave us with a gem, a nugget, something that people really need to know.
If you want to be successful in life, I would tell everybody, be consistent and persistent, and you'll be able to achieve everything.
Short and sweet to the point, man. Make sure y'all follow DHerbs. AD Dolphin is here, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
My brother.
There you go.
Follow my boy. Peace.